Listen to Iron Maiden, baby, with me.
Welcome to Listen to Iron Maiden, baby. I'm Ash from South Wales.
I'm Ante from New South Wales.
Let's go. How are you, mate?
Good, man. Oh, that was rocking last night, though. Did you feel that?
That's right. There was an earthquake.
Yeah.
We are Iron Maiden fans. I'm a huge fan. Ante is learning, and we live in Japan. And guess what?
It rocks.
It rocks. Yeah, I was about to get in the shower, so I was naked. Have you ever been naked and an earthquake shakes?
No, what timing, though, if it was to be like
I
real?
know.
Like,
And I was like, okay, what do I do here, this situation? Should I jump in the shower? But then if the building collapses and I'm naked, it's kind of embarrassing. What do I do? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just thought, fuck it, I'm getting in the shower.
Let's be a man.
It's we live in Hiroshima. Nothing happens here.
Knock on. You know what? I'm going off karma. I'm going off karma.
see.
Yeah. Probably.
Anyway, mate,
We're
Ante Krislovich.
Yes, that is me.
Busy man, I assume.
Yeah, every now and then.
So, of course, Iron Maiden, we just finished up Peace of Mind, and I really, really, really have a lot of nostalgia for that album, and, you know, just the general vibe of listening to that album. So, up next is Power Slave. But before we go that, let's go back to the documentary, and let's talk about some technical things, right? So I'm using my iPad to play the audio, these things.
Hey.
And so I have a recording studio basically, and I've been using a MIDI controller with Logic Pro to control as buttons, so like play whatever. But I took it away because I never used it.
Yeah.
But somehow the MIDI information is still there, and somehow the iPad, which this app that I'm using is called Koala. It's basically a pattern sampler.
Yeah.
But I always use it for samples. It's really good because you can edit things very easily. It uses MIDI too.
Yeah.
And somehow the wires got crossed.
I was like reading ghost signals.
I swear to God, the last few podcasts we've started, and we just literally everything just goes da da da, like every sample plays at once, which is quite funny. But I figured it out now, so it's all good. And also, like I said, I've done podcasts before, but I wanted to do audio, so I didn't think of playing any video, so I didn't think to actually bring in my computer audio. So instead of just cutting up clips now, I've routed my computer's audio video to what we're recording, so we can both watch the videos together. And, not just be listening to audio instead.
Technology.
Even though the podcast is still audio, sorry guys, if you want video, it'll have to be on Patreon because Iron Maiden will definitely flag us for all the clips we play.
Yeah.
Whatever. So there you go. Anyway, Ante, talking about some news, I thought something would be good since you're from Australia.
Yes.
And you have kind of similar culture to the UK. So Bruce Dickinson, right. Bruce is on tour now with his solo band, right?
Yeah.
And I think about Bruce Dickinson, I love the man, but if you stick a mic in his face, he's going to say something stupid, right? So, but not stupid. He's got opinions, and he just, and it's something about Bruce Dickinson that anything his headlines are just whoa, really
would you
bad.
say there's no filter?
Yeah. But a lot of the time, he's actually not saying. He said something like just in passing, but that being turned into a headline looks really, really bad.
Okay, yeah.
And he's a victim of that for sure. Anyway, so recently he's been talking about the state of small venues in Britain. Now, we are very spoiled in Japan because I've done a band here for a couple of years, and the small venues here are incredible.
Yeah, there's a few of them, isn't there?
Yeah, in Hiroshima where we live, couple of small ones. My first place we played was in a basement of an apartment.
Nice.
These guys it was called Badlands.
Yeah.
This crazy couple, they just opened up this venue with a working stage and everything. It was amazing. I was like, what? I would have killed for this back home. Anyway, Bruce was interviewed by the Daily Express about how pubs are being closed down in the UK in a way that, he says, in a way that's ignorant. They're being either closed down or ripped out. So he's talking about the community, right? So he's talking about, what did he say? The state of small venues in Britain is absolutely shocking. Once venues go, they're seldomly replaced, man.
That's true.
And
yeah.
when I started, shows were super cheap. Yes, of course they were cheap back in the day. Like a movie ticket was like 10 pence or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's existence in rock music is live, you know. That's why it's so expensive, right? But I thought something about, he's talking about pub culture and like, you know, the sense of community, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I don't know about you, but like where I grew up, pubs were just, for me, just where all the losers were. Like I knew a lot of guys who were just like in the pub all the time.
Yeah.
And it's fine going to a pub, but making the pub your main hangout, I don't know about it, but like I'm not a big drinker anyway.
Yeah.
But I in my generation growing up, when I go to the pub, I just thought, oh my God, I do not want to end up here.
Yeah. No, same.
Right?
No, same.
I mean, of course, Australia has pubs too, right?
It's a very
what's it like?
similar
Yeah.
culture. But see, now if you're going to tie that in with the whole music thing, it depends on which pubs, because some pubs are known for, we have live music as well,
okay.
and we do it well.
Mm.
So it was almost like when I was in a band,
Yeah.
you knew that you're kind of climbing up the ladder if you played at a
That's
certain
right. Yeah.
pub,
Right? That's cool.
But not all pubs are like that.
Mm.
Yeah, there were some that are just like, yeah, it's a pretty down and out place.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, even the Iron Maiden bands are like, the guys in Iron Maiden love pubs. I mean,
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
built a house and had a pub built into his house.
Fair enough.
It's insane. You know, I was like, oh, what are you doing, mate? But like, I understand the sense of community is very good, but most community is on, you know, a lot of it is online now, and it's just how things are, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And so Bruce, like, it's just funny because the way he said that, it gets turned into a headline. He's just saying like, oh, you know, it used to be, you know, sense of community and things like that.
Yeah.
But it comes across like, Bruce says that all venues are shit and that you're all bloody losers, you know, whatever.
Nice way to twist the words.
Yeah, he is a victim of that always, for sure.
Things that happen a lot though, like you said, with live venues closing and that.
Yeah.
That happened a lot in Sydney. All the good live places were just going, and just like you said, they don't get replaced.
No, that's right.
And just kills that whole culture of, oh yeah, getting together for drinks, but
Yeah.
the music, for the music aspect, is really bad. So,
Yeah, you gotta have passion for like doing a business like that, because there is not a lot of money. It's a gradual, like you make money gradually from pubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be, you know, that's why they do like wedding receptions and things like that, you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and people are more health conscious now too, man. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people are really healthy and in the gym and things like that. Even in Japan, we have izakayas, which is as close to a pub as you can get. Is it just really just a bar people go to after work just to eat a bit of chicken and chat shit or whatever?
Yeah.
But it's not the same as like,
It's a very different culture,
it's
though.
totally
still,
different, right? It's not like a bunch of strangers standing up. I mean, in America bars, everyone's sitting down.
That's
and in
right,
Japan,
yeah,
but
yeah.
in a pub, it's, you know, it's not you. Most people are sitting down, but it's generally you're standing up and chatting with people. And,
Right. Yep.
You know, it's very different. But yeah, Bruce, just relax a bit anyway. Anyway, Andy, before we moved on, you had a little thing you wanted to talk about, a little test you had.
A little test, eh? So going back through the first 4 albums.
Yeah.
So we were talking about doing because you are the head honcho, the man.
I'm the biggest Iron Maiden fan in the world.
There is no one before you.
I learned about Maiden on the streets.
That's it, man. You're keeping it real.
I am.
So a test for you.
Okay. What have you made?
Random 10 songs. We're going to play. Well, we're going to play a second of the start, and you
Okay.
need to name them. So from the first 4 albums that we've listened to.
Okay.
So I did prepare it for 1 second.
Yeah.
I think that's too easy for you.
For me. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, is it like what, like half a millisecond or something?
Oh, no, just half a second.
Okay, that's
right?
pretty
Which
good.
I think is still fair enough.
Okay.
I still think I stink. That too. I still think you'll get most of them. Maybe 1 or 2 might throw you off, but I still think you'll get it.
I'm pretty sure I will get all of them.
So,
Fuck off. Don't be a twat.
But don't we have that, like, you know, when you hear that song that you really love, and
Yeah.
it's just not even a millisecond, and you
Yeah,
go,
you know exactly. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. How you set? We got here. You set up everything.
Yep.
Ante and I have a Google Drive,
Mhm.
which we share things on. You know, for for the podcast.
Yep.
So he's uploaded. Oh, I can see it right here. There's a half second and a 1 second one,
Mhm.
and it's one file with a pause between them, I guess.
Got about a 4-second pause in between.
Got it. And nothing is named, right? So
Nothing is named. I have my little
okay.
paper here in
Shall we
case I
start?
forgot.
So this is the half second one. Shall we start with?
Do it.
Okay.
If we have issues, then we'll drop back to the.
Okay.
You can do it.
Here we go.
That's half a second.
To Tame a Land.
Correct.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah. You shall have more.
Okay, no, every time I get one right, I've got to go. And if I-
Perfect.
Okay, and if I get one wrong, it has to be, well,
Fuck off. Don't be a twat.
Yeah,
there
that
we go.
works.
Perfect. Okay, next one. Gangland.
Yay!
Yay!
Dun, dun.
Fuck yeah. Okay, next one. Invaders.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Yes.
All right, next one. You little bastard. Strange World.
I thought this one might throw you off.
Got
Yes.
it? Yeah!
Yeah.
Come on!
It's a little bit of an odd one, that one, right? Just in between the songs.
That's how I feel right now. Okay, so
Anyway, back to the
back to
music.
the quiz.
Yep.
Another Life?
Yeah.
Du-du-du-du-du. Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Here we go. Children of the
Dun,
Damned.
dun, dun.
Fuck yeah. All right, what's next up?
Number 7.
All right, let's go to Ashley. Ashley.
Die with your boots on.
Oh,
'Cause if you're gonna
yeah.
die. Next one. Running
Getting
free!
Correct.
A jolly like band from West Ham. They're called Iron Maiden with their song Running Free. You twat. Let's go on.
Nice. 2 more.
Murders in the Rue Morgue.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Almost sounded like Daft Punk there for a
I know,
second.
right? Yeah, we can go to a band. All right, last one.
Last one.
10 out of 10. Where Eagles there?
Yay!
Come on, lads! You can't
10 out
can't
of
beat
10.
me.
And that's what, dude, 1 second would have been way too
Right.
long. Though,
It's
right?
not fair because it's 1 second from the beginning.
Mm.
So to make it
if I
harder,
threw-
yeah, like to be like somewhere in the like 1 second in the middle of a song.
that
let's do
would have
that
been a
next
bit more.
time, all right?
Okay.
So guys,
Yep,
we're
yep.
trying to keep things interesting in between albums. You know, I don't want to just fly through every album. You know, because there's a lot of things to do. Mate, I'm impressed with myself. Are you impressed?
I am.
Thank you.
I thought one might have got you that. Yeah.
No, I've listened to this band a lot. You know, I'm not lying, guys, when I say that. You know, I am. You know. Yes, I am the champion, Ashley. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, let's keep these things going, man. And today is no exception. We're going back to the free on YouTube History of Iron Maiden Part 1 to finish off just as they are entering to do Peace of Mind. We're going to watch the documentary and stop. Mate, it's getting a little bit hot, isn't it? You
Just
noticed?
a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, Japan is like in spring, it's fine, and then suddenly it's just really, really humid. So next time I will be bringing the fan out, and
we're just too hot.
yeah,
Mm.
I'm hot as fuck. Didn't you see that? I got all right. Fuck yeah.
yeah.
You can't beat me.
Yeah.
I bet there's people listening at home and being like, "Oh, I got 8 out of 10." Yeah,
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
And some people at
Almost.
home going, "Oh, I wish I was like Ashley."
You wish.
Yeah.
Anyway, lads, let's carry on. So we're continuing, guys. If you want to watch along from the history of Iron Maiden Part 1 from 1 hour 17 seconds. 17 minutes and 23 seconds.
Nico had shared with us when he
See, there's Steve's pub. That's in his house.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks like he's in the pub. He's actually in his house. And it's got all like the trophies and stuff as well.
That's cool.
So he does like football tournaments, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Is it cool?
Well, for him anyway. Not the
Yeah.
type I would do in my house, but you know,
True, me neither. I mean,
I'm sure he loves it.
he sold it now.
Oh.
He lives in New York, I think.
Well,
Bloody.
someone loves it.
Well,
Well, they ripped it out.
actually, I think Bruce lives in France.
Yeah.
Dave Murray lives in Hawaii. Of course he does.
Yeah.
Steve lives in New York, I believe. And I know that Yannick still lives in England because some people see him at the supermarket sometimes. And Adrian Smith definitely lives in the UK. And not sure. Oh, Nico lives in somewhere in America. He's got his own, he's called Rock and Ribs restaurant. I think it's in Florida
Okay.
somewhere in
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah, anyway, Steve.
was with trust and all that. We knew what a brilliant drummer he was and everything.
We're connecting with Nico throughout the years, you know, either this show or this show, you know. The most natural person to have in the band.
In the early days, in North London, when me and Nico used to go for auditions for bands, there used to be like 10 or 15 drummers go. And then there'd always be 2 left, that'd be me and him. And I always used to know he'd get the gig. But I didn't have to worry, because the phone would ring 2 weeks later, because he'd always get the sack. Because you're giving too much of that all the time. Another thing.
He's a lunatic, what can I say?
Yeah, what can you say? We dived into Nico a little bit, and he's a character. But he's been drumming for Maiden since this.
He
album.
knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Some people do prefer Clive for this, for the albums he did. Clive just has that swing, but let's be honest, the type of music that's going on from now is just more technical, demanding, and the band even said that he was struggling with certain parts, right, and that's the thing. When you got someone who's not as on the, it's just much better to have someone who's on the level of you, even if you like the person, but if they're not gelling, if you have to like pull them along, it's not really, it doesn't work, there's no time in a rock band, especially. You need people like to be fucking on it, this is the song, learn it in 2 minutes, all right. Kind of thing.
It's got to be hard to do, man.
It is hard to do. It is, and it sucks. It's not rational, but it's an irrational situation.
That's true. Yeah.
So what the fuck are you gonna do? Anyway, Adrian Smith, legend.
And that's what he brought to the group. He brought Nico to the group. This energy that he's got, and of course the technique as a player as well.
Real character and a real charge of electricity. When he came in the band.
I've known Nick for quite a few years before I actually joined Maiden. And we always got on very well. I was very...
Do you see that? Rod is doing the interview from his office with his computer screen open.
Right.
And there's like emails there. And like it's like someone would like zoom in on it and be like, "Oh my god, look, we got this information," whatever. It's really odd, isn't it? What a choice.
His influence within the band.
I don't personally think Steve's making the right choice, because I know you and all this business, it's winding me up. And I think genuinely he wasn't too sure.
We had a lot of talks over the years, trying to keep an even keel. But he's got a heart of gold. He's such a lovely guy and a great drummer.
Yeah. So
got me looking at the screen again.
Yeah. Yeah. All I care about is looking at that screen now. All right. So let's look here. 1982 to what was it?
90.
Wait, what does that say? Yeah. 1982 to 1990. The Iron Maiden group is Steve Harris on bass / vocal. Pff, fuck off. You're dreaming. Take that vocal off there.
Yeah.
Adrian Smith on guitar, vocal, deservedly.
Mm-hmm.
Great backing singer. Nico McBrain on drums. Bruce Dickinson on the vocals. And then Dave Murray on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow. What a fucking lineup. Can you get better than that? I mean...
8-year spread there too.
Nice. And in this 8 years... they fuck the world up. They do a good job, man. This is very, very good. All right.
Now they're there. That's the fucking lineup. And I tell you, wow,
yeah, baby.
You wouldn't want to follow this group on stage.
So January 83, the band goes to Jersey to work on songs for the next album. I love the Channel Islands.
Yeah.
Just another fuck you to France. Yeah, these tiny islands that, we don't need, but guess what? We got them.
Whereabouts are they? Like, are they closer to France? Or?
Closer to France. Yeah.
That'd be right. Yeah. Bastards.
Yeah, 100%. So right now, the photo they have, Bruce is doing like a... So Bruce has had a nickname before he was on Iron Maiden called Neanderthal. So like...
It's a good look.
Is what he plays up on? Does he play up to being like the old caveman looking guy? Because I guess he does look a bit caveman, isn't he? But he does play up to it too. So it's kind of like that thing where people can't hurt you with it if you own it, Yeah.
Nico looks like just out of school?
Yeah, Nico looks really, I don't know, looks really young, right?
Yeah.
Adrian Smith looks exactly the same. Like, all right, Dave, happy as Larry. Adrian always looks uncomfortable.
I think Dave always looks young.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he does, right? Yeah,
But
yeah.
like I said, now looking at Nico, I'm like, hang on.
Yeah. So the thing about Adrian, right, is that the band does a lot of banter in the future, and he just doesn't join in with it.
Okay,
like for example, like they have to do appearances where they have to mime, and there's this amazing video. I think it's in Italy or Germany. I can't remember, but like it's for Wasted Years.
Yeah,
they're asking them to mime, so during the song they're all changing instruments.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it.
I mean, people, everyone knows the band, have seen it. Let me check that.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring it up.
Watch this shit, man. It's so funny. All right. So you know Wasted Years anyway, right? So you know the band, right? And like Adrian Smith doesn't get involved, but the rest of the band do.
Yeah.
Right? It's still hilarious. Ooh, TV effects here. So guys, we're watching Iron Maiden swapping instruments. Like Bruce has got a banana. Alright, Steve's there, right? Okay. Like mid-song, see, look, he just grabs his bass off him. Oh, he's got a guitar. Oh, Steve was playing guitar. Oh, look, Dave's got Steve's bass. Alright, and
wow.
Nico comes up on vocals now. I think Steve is on drums. See, Bruce is on guitar.
Bruce has got the moves, man.
I know, right? Steve's singing. Like, it's hilarious. But see, look at Adrian. Adrian just kind of like he's just on the side, like not getting involved, you know.
Not his thing.
No, but he's kind of laughing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with Adrian is that he's kind of laughing, but he's not getting involved.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
clearly he's one of the lads, but he's just
Maybe
more
that's just
private
not
about
his
it. Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
There's a lot of situations like that with him.
yeah.
Anyway, so
What the band used to do is they'd rent a hotel in Jersey when it was low season, and we'd get a chef and a pool table and a dartboard.
24 guys with a 24-hour bar, and you didn't have to pay for any of it.
how are you doing there, mate?
Be pretty dangerous, right?
I've seen photos of you like wasted. I've
Sure you
on
have.
your Instagram, whatever. I went through and I was like, oh shit, he looks looking rough.
I have my moments.
Oh, that was funny too. On Sunday, I went to I went to the same like what was it? It was the same like situation that we met in the same place. It was like our mutual friend's birthday, and it was the same place. And I was like, oh, this is where I met Auntie. This is nice.
I didn't go because I knew you'd be there.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
No.
Crazy coincidence though. When I went there, I met who did I meet? So the gym I go to is like it's sort of near my house here, but it's a bit further away.
Yeah.
Now I have a new job. I used to do you know Anytime Fitness? It's a 24-hour, yeah. So I used to go to that one, but it became less convenient because of where I live. But so I joined another gym. But now it's more convenient to go to the Anytime Fitness.
Right.
So my plan is to quit that gym and then join Anytime Fitness. Anyway, when I went there was a girl there, and I was like, I'm not. I recognize you, but I didn't want to be like, hey, who are you? It's some random girl.
Yeah.
And and then after we had a group photo, we were tagged, and I clicked on her photo, and I was like, fuck. She works at that gym, that exact gym. I'd seen her.
Yeah.
She's in the promotional photos, whatever. So I messaged her. Listen, hey, we met at the party, but we didn't really talk much. But I'm thinking of joining up. Can you help me join up? She's like, yeah. I was like, fucking landed.
Nice.
Bit of discount. So yeah,
Easy.
mate. Sometimes life is wonderful.
That's it, man.
Anyway,
Anyway, back to the music.
Dear me.
We're going to have a play today then? Oh, no, I don't think we need to, do you? Got any new tunes ready? Yeah. Shall we have a go at them then? No. Okay, fine, let's go and have a beer then.
We had the crew over there, and it was just like mayhem. 2 months on end.
The gear was just there 24 hours a day, set up. And you could go down there at 10 in the morning in your gym jams and just pick a guitar up, and somebody else would wander in. So what are you doing? Cool, isn't it? Suddenly you'd go, oh yeah, that's cool. So tape recorder goes on.
Bruce and I started really working well together. I never really sat down with I didn't write with Paul, so I never really sat down with a great singer. And then I play a riff and he just comes up with something amazing because, you know, it just opens his mouth and all of a sudden you got a great sounding song, you know.
All right, let me stop you there.
Mm.
Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson is a great combo.
Yeah.
So here's the songs that they've combined to do in I Maiden, right? 2 Minutes to Midnight.
Mm.
A song that they basically play every single show.
Yeah.
It is classic. Back in the Village, which is on Power Slave on the second side. In more modern times, they on the new album, Senjutsu, there's one song called Darkest Hour and Days of Future Past. Actually, two of the more interesting songs on the album for sure. Death or Glory, which is from the album, which I always forget the bloody name of, The Book of Souls. And it is my favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
That song is like listening to like old Maiden. Because let's be fair, recent Maiden is very long and long-winded. Death or Glory is just a banger.
Yeah.
The pre-chorus is "Climb Like a Monkey." I think it's about like a World War I pilot or something like that. And
Like
it's
a
just
monkey?
yeah, climb like a monkey. It's fucking like yes, Bruce, come on, it's so good. I think that was in my like Apple Music top 10
I
last
got
year.
Fly Like an Eagle in my head. Climb like a... Sorry.
Yeah, a lot. Actually, it's funny because like there's a lot of Aces High.
Yeah.
You would assume that was written by Bruce, but it's not. It's by Steve.
Really?
So.
Oh, wow.
It's funny,
Okay,
right?
now
Yeah.
I'm surprised
It's
there.
interesting, right?
Mm.
I was those weird. Anyway, Flight of Icarus, of course,
Yeah.
the best song ever. Moonchild, which is on 2 albums in ahead when they got a bit of synths in there.
Yep.
Speed of Light, which is one of the newer songs on the album. That's another good short rocker.
Yep.
Sun and Steel.
Sunlight.
Oh, talking of Japan, mate. Did you finish the last episode of
Up to date, yeah.
Shogun? I was a little bit worried that they weren't going to keep it like the book. Because she was going to do the old, kati gati. And she didn't.
okay.
And then, yeah, it ended as, okay, that's good. They're keeping it to the book.
Mm.
British guy gets the girl again.
You had to go there again, didn't
Spoiler.
Can't blame
And the
him.
last one,
Can't blame him.
The Writing on the Wall, which is one of the newer songs on the
Yeah.
album, which has an amazing video inspired by like Sons of Anarchy. And it's very good.
okay.
It doesn't
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
like real Maiden, but it is a great song. Either way, Bruce and Adrian make interesting songs that don't sound like Maiden, but do sound like Maiden because they're involved, kind of thing.
So that was a new thing for me to get into as well.
This was the first album we did with Nick. So he was like a new toy to play with. It's like, wow, and he does this, and he can do this. I wonder if he can do this. Can you do this? I wonder if we can make him do something really mad. Could you do this and this and this? He can too.
I'm playing with one of the best, if not the best, bass player in the world, and also composer. So the way he writes makes me have to think, well, I can't just play straight on this. I've got to come up with some kind of complementary backbone for Harry.
That set Steve off onto a new tack in terms of the complexity of some of the arrangements and the complexity of some of the songs.
So I would say that is a positive and a negative because the first 2 albums are just, there's not many long. It's just quite tight. And in a way, I would say, as they're written as well as, Clive could play them.
Yeah.
Number of the Beast was like, or let's stretch a little bit. But even that was quite more difficult. Peace of Mind. There's a lot of like tricky parts in that album.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but the songs are still quite short and sweet. Power Slave is coming up, and I would say that a lot of the songs are, very, very good, catchy songs.
Yeah.
But you can tell that Steve is getting very like, oh, I can go here now and go there.
Yeah.
Whereas, he couldn't. I'm sure he felt he couldn't do that before. So it is cool to see how just one member change can just change the whole thing, and especially the drummer, which is the backbone of the band kind of thing.
Yeah.
It put the band in a total different trajectory, which made them world famous.
No, and then I guess some people could overlook it with a drummer, but no, man,
No,
make a difference.
Yeah, it's more like just the fact that he could play and not worry about, we won't be able to do that. Because Nico can handle pretty much everything.
We had that in reverse when I was in a band, and we had a great drummer.
Oh, okay.
Amazing, like you wouldn't believe. Like he was, again, professional taiko player as well.
Oh, okay.
He was like,
Wow.
the stuff he could do, then things went to shit. And then we had a friend kind of take over for a while. And it's like, can't play the songs like we could. It was really, yeah.
The band was like rock, right, or metal?
Yeah, it was rock. It was.
Yeah,
a rock
there we
band.
go. So you need
Yeah,
drummer is almost the most important part. You know,
Yeah,
you need it very,
exactly.
very important. Yeah.
Will come with a song, then have all the melodies in his head, you know, have the lyrics, the riffs, and he'll even like keyboard parts, and it'll all be there.
I'll play a count in my room. So he sits, he goes. And then he plays and whistles.
You sit down with an acoustic guitar, and he'll whistle the melody, or he'll be playing his bass, acoustic bass.
Okay, let me stop you there. Acoustic bass is the worst instrument in the world. Easily. It's the most pointless piece of shit ever. Just play an unplugged bass.
Pretty much, right? Yeah.
I hate the sound of them. And he uses a lot more of them in the modern times on like songs. And it's just like, oh my God. I don't think it adds a lot to it.
No.
I just feel like he just wants to play it and whatever. Fuck you.
And then he'll whistle the melody over the top. So you kind of just work in with that.
You know, when you come up with riffs on the bass and use the kind of technique he uses and the sound, and then translate it to guitar, it comes out very differently. It's almost like you've got three guitarists sometimes. It's a very unusual approach to bass, and I think that gives the band a different kind of edge, you know.
Well, you do have three guitar players.
I was going to say, 3 guitars.
It's difficult to
I think he
translate the
misspoke.
ideas I found. But it definitely gives the band one of the most difficult things to get, and that's, you know, originality.
Yeah, I would give that. Because, all right, let me think about 1983, right? So, originality in general, or just sounding interesting, you know?
Yeah.
In 1983, these are some of the albums that came out. Black Sabbath, Born Again, which is the one with the red baby and Ian Gillan singing. It's dog shit.
Yeah.
AC/DC, Flick of the Switch. Terrible. No hits.
Yeah.
Brian Johnson got Back in Black, and after that, there's no albums. There's a few songs, Thunderstruck and all that, whatever. But like, he's never made a good album. Bon Scott's albums, all the songs are brilliant.
Yeah.
Brian got lucky with Back in Black, because after that, they've never written an entire album that's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of songs. And Flick of the Switch has got no good songs on it, in my opinion. And I know because my dad played AC/DC always, and he barely played this album.
Yeah, there you go.
Def Leppard, Pyromania. Got Photograph. That's a great song. Photograph, I don't want you. Okay, that's a great song.
Yeah.
And, you know, as I said in the documentary, the company were going to go with either Iron Maiden or Def Leppard.
That's right, yeah.
And I think they made the best choice for sure.
Yep.
Like, Photograph is a good song, but I wouldn't put Def Leppard on the same bar as Maiden for sure. In terms of like original, I mean, they got a cool sound, but
yeah.
Nothing like Maiden. Dio, Holy Diver.
Oh.
Shit. That's a great song. That's a great album. Holy Diver. Have you seen that South Park episode where he's on it? So it's the one where the homes. So there's two homeschool kids join the school, and then Stan's in love with the girl, and then they have like a school disco. But Dio plays it. All right, kids, let's go. This is my first album. Let's go. Holy damn, all the kids are dancing. It's hilarious. Pantera, Metal Magic, which is their first album where they were like all like glam.
I was about to say, hair metal.
Kind of weird. Like,
I've seen those pictures and I'm like, really? Pantera?
I know. It's funny, right? It's very funny. So Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. That's a decent song, but a lot of like Ozzy doesn't write his own stuff.
Yeah.
You know, other people are writing of it, like bloody Mr. Crowley. He doesn't know who he is. You know, even this Bark at the Moon is, you know, it fits Ozzy. He's like a Halloween rocker, isn't he? But you know, I love Ozzy, but you know, that song is decent, but nothing like this fucking album. Motley Crue, Shout of the Devil.
Motley Crue.
I don't like that song, Shout of the Devil, but I like the Looks Could Kill song, and you know, they're decent. They're decent, but Metallica, Kill 'Em All. Where James Hetfield's voice is just so like, but I love Kill 'Em All. That's a fucking sick song. That's so good.
Great.
Oh, come on, you gotta admit that's fucking great. Sick song. And Kiss, Lick It Up.
Yeah. You heard it.
I mean, I love Kiss, man. And that album is just Lick It Up is fucking amazing. That's such a good song. Lick it up. Don't want to know me better. Like Paul Stanley, man, he gets it.
Yeah.
That's the guy who knows his shit. But yeah, I would say that this album, Peace of Mind, is just, if you listen to those albums and then listen to this album, yeah, of course, Ozzy has always got good solos. Motley Crue got a cool modern sound. But fucking The Trooper.
it's like, but.
Right. They got The Trooper, you know? It's just not even a bloody competition. Really. So yeah, I would say that they do have originality, and I would say that they're much better than the other albums.
Definitely.
You know, but yeah. Oh, speaking of The Trooper.
Steve had the idea of having Eddie in a padded cell with a straitjacket. I didn't think it was enough, and I was trying to think of something to make it more. And
well, put him in a box in the sky.
That's right. The lobotomy. We just couldn't work out the title. For a while, it was food for thought, and then we came up with Peace of Mind in a pub on in Jersey. So suddenly, Peace of Mind with a piece, which still don't know if it's that good, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be that good, is it? I mean, when you think, it's fun to think of album names and whatever, but reality, as long as it's, fairly interesting, it's fine.
Exactly.
Like even Food for Thought would be fine.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be going like, oh my God, that's a terrible name. Because, Iron Maiden, Killers, Number of the Beast. Even Number of the Beast without context is like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Peace of Mind is fine. After this one, we got like Power Slave. That's a cool word though, isn't it?
It is.
Power Slave. It's great. But it's like Wonderwall. Who cares what it means? Sounds great.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Right? That's all it means. That's all matters. Yeah. Man, look at this brain here though, right? So like they've got the cover, the Peace of Mind. So there's a brain with a platter. It's got Brussels sprouts on there.
Imagine if that was the cover. Just that.
Yeah. No, some bands would do that though, wouldn't they?
It almost looks like the picture of at a really bad takeaway behind the counter. I'll have the number 10.
Yeah. So at 1 hour, 22 minutes, 51 seconds, there's a platter with a brain in it, which is related to Peace of Mind. And there's the choice of vegetables. Like there's like cut carrots, and then there's whole carrots, and then some green beans, some Brussels sprouts. Come on, lads. Terrible.
Some broccoli over there.
Oh, some broccoli as well, yeah. What the fuck is that? Beetroot?
Yeah, I don't know.
But don't turn it off now.
That he would not use a double bass drum pedal on
Drummer who doesn't want to use a double kick.
principle.
I'm a drummer.
He thought it was sort of like undrummerish to do that. For about 10 or 15 seconds before his foot fell off. And during the course of rehearsals, every day he'd go in there and he would get better and better and better and better and better. But it's just an incredible piece of drumming.
Where Eagles Dare. Man, oh man, that's a hard song. You should start the show with it. Start the show. First song.
Yeah, we listened to that though. But Nico's first though, he was a little bit sloppy. He was like, but
yeah.
like a week or 2 weeks later, he was in the
Straight
pocket.
into
It was huge, much different.
The kids were coming out to see the band with a new drummer, a new face, and I had to fill those shoes. So I was kind of a little bit, didn't want to let the kids down in terms of what Clive had given them.
Yeah, I mean, of course you're going to feel pressure because you're the new guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you've been chosen. Later in a few years, Blaze Bailey is going to be chosen to be the singer of Iron Maiden. His voice is way too low, but Steve chose him. What are you going to do?
That's interesting, though.
Right?
Well, yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, say no. I mean, he did say no a few times, but like, it is a huge job. It's the same thing like with soccer or football. Like, I think I said this before, but like sometimes you're a good player. Like it was a big fish in a small pond,
right? And
a big team comes in for you, and technically it's a bad idea because you're going to be like, a squad player.
Yeah.
But
right, yeah.
for you to get to that level, you must back yourself. So you must back yourself at every single level, even though you know that you're not going to get in the team, but you have to back yourself. Because if you're someone with the drive and motivation to exceed in something, you're going to have that trait anyway. So people would say to you, mate, that's a terrible idea. You're going to fuck your career up. But what you've got to be like, no, fuck it. I'm going to get in that team. Same as Nico. He could have been like, nah, man, that's just too much pressure. But fuck it.
Just did it anyway.
I'm great.
Yeah.
If you don't think, you're great or think you're good, then you need that to be able to practice as much as you would, whatever, So anyway, the World Peace Tour, 140 shows. Fuck. And it gets worse. Power Slave, that tour is the craziest tour ever. I mean, the band basically almost breaks up after it because they're dead, But this is a huge tour by itself, it's crazy.
Bands who are very rootsy and have a grassroots following and are unsigned get signed. So often the fans turn and say, well, it's no longer our little secret. They're not the band they were. That never happened with Maiden because they stayed in touch with the fans. They were absolutely determined, however big they became, they would never lose touch with the people who mattered, the fans.
All right, can we stop there? That guy is a knob.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy because he talks bollocks. He talks like someone knows what you're talking about. What are you talking about? That's not true at all. They played Run to the Hills. Someone shouted bollocks from the crowd, So, like, Maiden has been like, right, you got the Paul era, the Bruce metal era, the Bruce with synths era, the era where Steve runs out of ideas, the era of Steve getting a divorce, and hires a singer with a lower range, the era of Bruce is back, fuck yeah, the era of these songs are a little bit too long, and the current era of fuck you, do whatever you want, it's my band. And along the way they've picked up and lost tons of fans. I know people who only like the Paul album. I know people who only know 666. I know people who stopped after Power Slave. They thought like, nah, there's just too fucking blah, whatever now. And later, when Adrian leaves, there's 2 albums which, they lose a lot of fans of those albums because they're just not as good as anything before. Bollocks. The fans, like, they've dropped them like flies, like. And Iron Maiden was even, for a lot of people, Iron Maiden is a band that they only listened to, like, in the 80s, and that was it.
You're right.
Whole, this podcast is named after a Wheatus song where they're referencing Iron Maiden because it's like an easy, like, back in high school, remember kind of thing, Exactly. So that's all it is, man. So yeah, that guy's a fucking dick.
It was the power of their live shows. Simple as that.
There's no difference, whether there's 75,000 people out there or there's 700 out there. They're the same people.
Steve, I mean, he used to prove it. He'd come off stage and he'd be standing and there'd be water coming out the eyelets of his sneakers. That's how much sweat he used to generate.
We covered that. Steve was just very, very, very worried that someone's going to call him out for plagiarizing Halle with their name. That's why he sweated so much, okay?
Every show.
And that was it. We know that.
During a show.
I call it bullshit.
Treat the fans with respect, put on a great show for them, spend a lot of money on the production, and I think people appreciate that, and I think that's one of the reasons bands still around today. Absolutely, man. Maiden, they come out with an album, they base the stage on that album. There's an Eddie. With it's even now it's so like, yeah, when you see Eddie, it's just so fucking cool. It is great. Even Bruce tries hard with, like, he tries to wear different costumes and things like that. Yeah, it's fucking hokey and bullshit, but whatever. I appreciate that they're trying. You can tell these guys are so passionate about the job. They're not the fucking Eagles on stage going like, who hate each other and be like, all right, we need money. Let's get along.
Exactly.
They don't need fucking money. They sold all their bloody rights to the music a long time ago, man. They've got money.
Fine,
they're just doing it for their love, So there's, it's true, man. Maiden the best.
The Iron Maiden audiences have that, extra oomph when they they're screaming, shouting, singing the songs.
Scream from it on,
So there was a TV show in Dortmund, and on that we decided to kill off Eddie. And we did a great job of maiming him.
Right, they killed Eddie in Germany, of course, but see, I love that they're in Germany, so they immediately put up the British flags on the amps. Like, I mean, to do that, there's some effort has been put in there, you know?
Yeah.
No matter what happens, we will always try to say fuck you to the Germans.
Eddie gets killed and we pulled out the woman's tights covered in red stuff that was supposed to be his brains, which I think left the audience somewhat bemused. Not sure they quite got what was going on.
I remember getting into the excitement of the occasion, playing the guitar, and then he was like, head was there, and we were like smashing the guitar, and everyone was jumping in.
And we thought that's going to make great TV. But then the German authorities said it was too violent to get shown on TV. It's a bit of a waste of time, really.
Yeah, I mean, what's allowed on TV and what isn't, you know, depends on the country. But I know Germany has weird rules about violence and I think language too. But, you know, I mean, that's what happens when you're controlled by America, proxy, like by proxy, after losing 2 wars and like having an image of like, yeah, we're cool, nice people.
Whoops.
Oh, that Eddie, you killed Eddie. We don't like that actually.
Can't have that.
Come on, it's a bunch of tights in his bloody brain. Relax, guys. Relax, buddy. Come on, guy. Sorry, Saddam Hussein. So yeah, by the end of 1983, Iron Maiden have released 4 classic albums and toured the world 3 times. Down, depressed and lonely. Bum, bum, ba-dum.
I'll tell you one thing I always did.
Oh, it's Paul.
Milo is Steve. He's so focused that it was just like, have it.
He is.
Yeah. He is.
The band.
Forget trying to sway him from his path if he's on a quest. There's nothing you can say.
Good and bad. Can't change Steve's
can't
mind. He's set in his ways, but whatever. I mean, he did write The Trooper, right?
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Let him steal those lyrics.
Do you want to change them? I mean, they were a placeholder, right?
No.
But you know this is going to bite you in the arse in 30 years.
As I said, he had this dream and we're living it with him.
We wanted to get an album deal and be able to tour, you know, proper tour around the UK, like marquees of this world and, you know, big clubs or, you know, universities and just get an album out, really. We weren't thinking like the rest of the world at that point at all.
See, I think that's a good lesson in general as well. Like, so, of course, you have a dream of being super famous and the biggest band in the world. But to be practical, you've got to think of things in small steps.
Yeah.
And that applies to every day. Like, this is not Joe Rogan or anything like that. But, like, for example, like, I've always, every day I wake up and I have a little notepad on my table. I have my coffee and I write down today what I'm going to do. And I put a little checkbox. When I come home, I check if I did it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't do it, there's an X there. And I feel like, fuck, I didn't do it. You can see it, you know? And things about like the gym, going to the gym, exercising, whatever. People will always say, oh, it's too hard. It's like, yeah, you got to take it in small steps and focus on what you're doing at that time. Of course, you can think, I really want to be massive and buff and built, whatever. It's like, yeah, that takes a lot of work to get there. Everyone's got the dream of doing that, but to do it, you got to be right now in the moment and doing it. Same with anything in your life, you know, if you've got something to do.
And it's easy to fall off and stop too. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you fall off when you think it's impossible. That's why small steps every day, take it day by day, and like blah, blah, blah. In a band, okay, we did this.
Yeah.
All right, now let's do a next one, and let's do the next one, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important to keep notes and to write down your progress, you know, and even, talking in the gym, like I seen, I always take a notebook, and this guy asked me once, like, why do you have a notebook for, you fucking, you know, idiot? I was like, well, like, I was like, so I just watched you.
Yeah.
Just randomly lifting up weights, right? Like random ones. And I was like, listen, what are you doing here? What's your goal? And he's like, well, I'm just, you know, exercising. I was like, yeah, but like, are you trying to like get bigger? And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, this book is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because strength equals muscle. So in the book, I write down, okay, today I lifted 75 kilograms for 10 reps.
Yeah.
Now, next week, I see, oh, okay, I wrote out 75 kilograms. Now, I'm going to try and do 11 reps. You get stronger by doing more, either more repetition or more weight.
Yeah.
But you can't remember everything you fucking did you, the last week?
That's right.
It's right there written, and you know how much you did, how much you didn't do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
even if you're lifting the same weight, just do 5 more reps. So it's you'll get stronger and bigger. There's all this bollocks, but I want to tone up or whatever. That's bollocks.
Yeah.
You get stronger by you get more muscle by being stronger. So you can write down and see how it is. So the book is the most important thing in the gym. Really,
right.
if your goal is to do that. But I told him that, and he's like, "Oh, I would just remember it." I was like, "Really?
No,
really?
you don't.
You sure?"
No, you don't. This is a conversation I was having with who was it? Rachel. The other day.
From your other podcast.
We're just talking about DJ stuff in general. When we have those DJs that go, I don't put a set together. I just show up and play what I feel. No, you don't.
No, you don't. No.
If any DJ tells you that, they're fucking lying.
Right. Yeah.
They might play the room sometimes when they see it going direction.
Yeah.
But they're prepared still.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah. I'll remember.
I'll remember it. I know exactly what I did. All right, mate. Well, there we go then. Enjoying it. Well,
Okay.
but I explained to him why I had the notebook, and he took it as like, he wanted to be like, "You fucking idiot." But when I explained to him why, he's like, "Well, I'll just remember it." Instead of going like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's cool," But whatever. Those are the people. But yeah, Steve, man, focused, small steps at a time. Build.
Yep.
You can apply that to every aspect of your life. 100%. Joe Rogan.
I watch him a lot. I'll listen to him a lot. Or both.
I stopped a long time ago. I just liked when his mates were on. They were just talking shit about stuff. now it's like real doctors and shit on him. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it depends who's on. Sometimes it's more like,
Yeah, he's whatever. Anyway, but yeah, cool guy.
It wasn't until the first album was released that it started selling well everywhere that we were able to go further afield and think about all that.
The time was right for a band like Iron Maiden to come through, and boy did they come through. They were head and shoulders above any of the other bands that were supposed to be the next biggest thing at the time.
Everybody who had anything to do with Iron Maiden was very proud of
So
success.
proud.
We propelled Maiden from being a UK-based hard rock band.
Oh yes, chap. I mean, Iron Maiden, fantastic band. Don't you think so?
Where's his cup of tea?
Yes.
A world phenomenon, and it was a world phenomenon. And the extraordinary thing is that that's just kept going.
It went very quick. I mean, from when we first started, probably seriously in the '79, through to playing 4 nights at Long Beach Arena in California was less than 5 years. Which is, quite a level to get to in that time without airplay.
It wasn't as if we kind of thought, hang on a minute, they're number one in the British charts, and as you say, they're singing out Long Beach. How did that happen? We just thought it was the most natural thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they have always had a plan. Rod, that's why Rod is so important.
Right,
They've had
yeah.
the whole like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and I made now know exactly what they're doing next year.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
It's already booked and ready to go, so you gotta respect that, like planning and preparing, whatever. I made it just a great blueprint for a band.
They're a big act. Yeah.
Great band to copy. The thing like Lars copied a lot of the merch ideas from Iron Maiden. Having a easily recognizable thing that you can just apply to anything. Like Eddie can be anything. They could have a bloody, Costco Eddie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This Eddie
that's
as
true.
like think of it like you could Costco Eddie as the clerk, and he's like, fucking chopping someone's head off, whatever, or like he's packing, the heads in the whatever. You could do anything with anything.
Megadeth did the same with Rattlehead.
Oh, yeah, Rattlehead.
He's had
that's right.
so many different looks.
But see, I mean, I'm not saying they ripped off Iron Maiden,
No,
but
no, but-
I'm sure they did, right?
Yeah.
And Dave Mustaine's weird because he likes to be the center of attention in a way, but I guess like even he likes money, so
Right. It's nice to have a good, cool mascot.
Yeah, you got to have it, man. It helps a lot. Anyway,
It was through sheer hard work and live shows, really, because that's the 40 live still to this day.
In a roller coaster ride, you get that feeling at the top of, oh shit, right? Well, we went, oh shit, for 4 years. We did one world tour, and we were supporting and headlining. And then we had a #1 album, and then we recorded another album. We were in the bloody Bahamas. Then we went off to America, where we headlined. Stadiums. It was just mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. I love it when a plan comes together.
Did all right.
Right? Yeah, not bad, right? Not bad. All right, so that's the end of that documentary, right? Now, we're going to hit on Power Slave in the next podcast. Now, the beginning of the part 2, the documentary, The History of Iron Maiden Part 2, starts off right here with Steve Harris.
Is when it's going well, you know, you just got to keep it going.
We're young, let's go for it, 24/7.
Yeah, we're young. They're young, riding the high. Let's fucking do the next album. Peace of Mind is done. Let's go back to the old Channel Islands, to Guernsey, write an album. They went to the Le Chalet Hotel in Guernsey to write new songs. Those songs are going to be on Power Slave.
We decamped to a cliffside, out-of-season hotel in January. And I swear to God, the windows were bending half an inch from the Atlantic gales, you know.
Now, look at this comment on here, right? On the Power Slave tour, they played 205 shows in 11 months. When you think of the logistics, traveling, setting up the equipment, playing the show, tearing it all down, getting to the next town.
Yeah.
Like, the crew, man. That's why in the future, they do have a documentary about the Iron Maiden crew, and it is like, fucking hell, it is amazing, you know?
That would be nuts.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Even like, amps are broken, so, things are broken, or whatever. It's a lot of shows,
that's it.
man.
That's not just setting up from like, stuff breaks,
Stuff breaks, man. Especially these days, it's all
Yeah.
digital now. It's much easier, but fucking hell, man. Let's listen to Nico's drum tech.
Nico phoned me up. He said, do you fancy coming to the Channel Islands for 6 weeks? Pre-production rehearsals. And then the Bahamas for about 4 months. So I thought about the 10th floor of the sky-rise flat in Wood Green. Well, yeah, I'll have some of that.
We had the only 24-hour bar on the island, and that was it. I mean, we didn't do any work for about 4 or 5 weeks. We played pool, table tennis, bit of tennis, drank, went around the island checking out all the pubs and clubs.
Well, it was January, and it wasn't much to do there, so we used to make our own fun. But we always kind of get the job done, and we usually come out our way with sort of a structure of an album.
Yeah, I mean, okay, whatever. Enjoy your life, have fun, whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think that Peace of Mind, Power Slave, those 2 albums have great songs.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's some songs I think they could have improved
pushed them a bit more. Yeah.
So, of course, enjoy your life in the pubs, whatever. But I definitely think it did affect in some ways, But because they said they've been drinking for 4 weeks.
Right.
There's a lot of shit you can get done in 4 weeks.
True. 6 or 8 songs. And we do a couple when we got to the studio.
Peace of Mind was a whole world tour headlining everywhere, and we knew we had to come out with something really strong,
Yeah, man. Because think, right? So they blew up with Number of the Beast.
Yep.
But the people were just hearing those songs. But so the next album is when they're massive, right? So Peace of Mind is an album where like people are expecting something very, very big. They delivered.
Yep.
The Trooper on its own must have brought in fucking tons of fans, right? Yeah. So now they got to be like, all right, what's next?
Yeah.
They got to blow them away again. And
Again, what's
do
new,
they?
You know?
Do they not?
No pressure or anything.
Yeah, no pressure, Steve.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool, to be honest with you. I thought it was a great, stormy sort of, place to write an album.
Yeah, the channel between England and France is just the windiest piece of shit ever. It's horrible. You can cross the ferry, to go to France, whatever. And like,
no,
it's not enjoyable.
And so the majority album was conceived and in place before we went to the Bahamas.
It's a culmination of all those things, the experience. You still got that youthful enthusiasm. Everyone's.
Look at this photo, right? Is that the photo right now? It's 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Everyone is smiling except for Dave, who is always smiling when the band is not smiling. So Steve's got a can of beer, smiling.
Yep.
Adrian's got a red leather cut-off jacket, smiling.
Yep.
Bruce has got a cream jacket on, smiling. Nico is showing off his samurai little tattoo, smiling. Dave Murray, who is always smiling, is not smiling.
What's wrong?
Bad day,
Yeah.
Dave.
to bring their ideas out. It was a fruitful time, you know.
Okay, this photo right now, Steve is wearing the Empire of Japan shirt, which causes a lot of problems in Korea and China.
Still does, right?
Still
Even though
does.
the Navy does use it.
Yeah, the Navy.
Yeah.
I was because I went on a couple of months ago. I went on a boat trip. One with my friend. Like they're quite well off.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would. They do you want to go up my two boats?
Went
It's like yeah,
boating?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they drove up right up to Kure, right to the
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and like there's like submarines and shit there, and I
Yep.
was like. Is that the what's that flag? Is that allowed? You know, because I'm so used to
See,
it being-
exactly what you're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
is years ago, the same spot when I saw. That's
Yeah.
how I found out the
right?
Navy still
yeah, I
uses
didn't know
it.
that they used it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know?
yeah.
I mean, whatever. It's a flag, isn't it? But it definitely causes some flashbacks.
Well,
for
some people see it as a swastika.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
We'd all be in the Bahamas, the crew, the band, the artist, the producer. 8 weeks, boom, boom, and work this project out.
We was there probably for 2 or 3 weeks before they actually played a note. It was like,
Before they, I do the same thing, mate. I think I'm in the band, you know. All right, let's stop it there anyway. So yeah, basically, they're prepping. They've written the album. They're getting ready to do the album, and Power Slave is next, mate.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, we're gonna go into Power Slave. Once we've done, we'll go back to the documentary, and so we'll go from there because there's still a lot to do. Power Slave is gonna be a big one, guys, because there's a lot of backstory, a lot of stuff has happened. So I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to try and do a podcast every week, but depending on how busy we are.
Yep.
Life, things like that. I got a lot to prep because I want to bring in a lot of stuff.
Oi.
But everything's working now, right? We got the whole setup ready to go. We can record the screen. We can record everything. So
we have the technology.
We do have the technology, right? And what's that from?
It's a $6 million man.
That's
Which isn't
it.
really much these days.
Yeah, that's right. $6 million man. It's
Inflation.
nothing, peanuts. The man that cost a couple of quid. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but man, I'm looking forward to it, man. So like I said, you know Power Slave already.
Yeah.
So you already have it on vinyl, right? So
Yep, sure do.
This is going to be a good one because Ante already knows this one. I'm just going to give you a few details.
I'm that guy. I've got this on vinyl.
Yes. Yeah, but there's a lot to talk about, right? So email us at listen-to-imaidenbaby@gmail.com with anything you want to talk about or how you feel. We'll read it out. And we'll catch you next time with Power Slave Part 1.
Hey.
A 5-piece heavy metal band from the East End.
Who's that?
I don't know.
They're called Iron Maiden. I love doing that.
Don't like mangoes.
All right, catch you later.
Take it
Bye.
easy, guys.